I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if you are a regular visitor here. And if you are new here, a big welcome to you. And I would love it if you could subscribe. So today, I'm going to bring you all the information you need to know how to manage and navigate the new moon in Aquarius energies that we have on January 21st. This can bring extraordinary opportunity. It really is a super new moon, and it's literally a super new moon because the moon in itself is quite close, one of the closest it can get to our planet at the current time. So is this about thinking outside the box? Perhaps being inventive with our new ideas? I do think it helps sometimes if we just get a big piece of paper and brainstorm about how we want to kind of develop the ideas we have in mind. And this new moon of all the new moons does encourage us to be inventive. And because the new moon is conjunct transformative Pluto, my big outer boy of hidden depths, hidden secrets, beginnings, endings, and transformation, this means that this new moon has the potential of really powerful undertones, and pretty much all the aspects for this new moon, apart from one, are harmonious. Now that is super helpful. The only problem when we have all good positive aspects to anything that is going on, whether it's a full moon, a new moon, a particular transit in our chart, is that sometimes we can tend to sit back and just let things happen or think that things will just unfold. And we can imagine that magical solutions will suddenly appear to help us with our plans. That may well happen. However, Pluto, our planet of transformation, is in Capricorn. Now, Capricorn is the sign of structure, of tradition, and of hard work. And so this conjunction with the new moon really does imply that to get the transformations that you want for the plans that you have, that you want to set in place, hard work and consistency is what's needed to bring those transformative results. So what else have we got going on? Because let's not forget that newly direct Mars, our planet of action, energy, assertion, is newly direct in the sign of communication, Gemini. Now, Mars is making a trine, which is a super helpful aspect to this new moon. And so because it's Gemini, which is about communication, it brings energy and mental strength and this ability to work hard on manifesting our dreams. So that's really super helpful. Now, Uranus, that rules Aquarius, which is why this is a very inventive new moon. Uranus, our big outer boy of the unexpected, and as I say, of invention and innovation, is making a lovely trine aspect. That's helpful. And that's to Mercury, our planet of communication, also newly direct. And also Uranus is slowing down, because it's still retrograde, to station direct on the 22nd, which is the day after the new moon, suggesting that constructive discussions bear fruit. Don't forget, Mercury is still in its shadow zone until the first week of February. So we do have one tricky aspect, but it's nothing to particularly worry about. It's about Jupiter. Jupiter, my lovely big boy of innovation and luck and opportunity and just really kind of being able to use that Uranus energy to think big and expand one's dreams and ideas. Well, it's squaring, which is a hard, challenging aspect. Mercury, our planet of communication, in Capricorn, our sign of structure, asking us to be mindful and to not exaggerate. Remember, it's Jupiter, big expansion, or become inflated about our hoped for results. It really is important with this new moon energy, because the energies are favourable, that you have to work with it. And as I said a little bit earlier, don't expect it all to just fall in your lap. Nothing does that. We have to work for it. How's our lovely planet going to fare? Well, I think we might see, for example, breakthroughs. Surprising news can come to our attention with regard to technology, communication. And I think with regard to, I'm just thinking about what's going on in Ukraine still, and we're nearly up to the year that war has been going on. With Mars now direct, I think we could see a major push forward on the ground. Now, I don't know which side that is going to be from, but I do think also because Mercury is direct, there is the potential for continuing or ongoing or new diplomatic discussions taking place. And the new moon really does support positive breakthroughs with regard to what's happening in Ukraine. Now with Aries, our little dwarf planet out there in the Kuiper belt in Aries. Now, Aries is our goddess of strife and discord, of rioting, a little bit like Uranus. Aries is making a sextile, which is kind of like that, which is a gentle, helpful aspect to Venus, our planet of love, relationship, value. And Venus is in Aquarius. And so Aries is not only sort of sextiling Venus, but also Saturn, our planet of containment and boundaries and timing. Now, Venus and Saturn are almost conjunct, and I am going to do a separate video about that particular little conjunction. Well, it's quite a big conjunction. It's quite important, so I'll do a heads up about that. And with this sextile, I think it suggests that, for instance, with the UK, where we've seen nearly every sector on strike, I mean, you name the sector, they're on strike. I think we will see the UK government working really hard on finding solutions, and that I think there will be almost like an effort to express goodwill from the government. So I think this new moon could bring breakthroughs for all those striking elements in the UK. And I think that they will find solutions more in the short term than the longer term. And I think the government are going to have to make concessions, and there will be some significant restructuring of how the government works when this is finally resolved. But how's this going to affect you personally? Well, with Uranus turning direct soon after this new moon on the 22nd, and with both Mercury, our planet of communication, Mars, our god of energy and action, also direct, I really do believe we are going to notice ourselves feeling so much better, so much more positive. And I think we will all feel a kind of a sense of relief, as if we're finally just beginning to see strong light at the end of what may have felt like a very long, dark tunnel. This is a wonderful new moon to plan something special for you and a group of people. You know, a sort of January new moon party. And I think also this new moon will help us bring healthy structure into our routines, and maybe to actually manage to have more boundaries about the time we spend online, for example, which doesn't always serve us well, so that we actually communicate with real people face to face. We're not in lockdown anymore. We can actually go out and see people and hug them should we choose to. I also think that around this time you might find you have some extraordinary thought-provoking discussions with people that really get you thinking about how to bring those new ideas into your life that will really enrich it. So what are my final thoughts? Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and is interestingly the sign and the planet that rule astrology. So, maybe this is a good new moon to explore the subject, to take it up or look into it in a more serious way. Because even as a hobby, as part of your kind of daily routine, it really seriously is a wonderful tool that can give you a lot more control over how you navigate your life. And I do feel on another level that we are going to see astrology really becoming much more accessible to people, and not the kind of horoscope kind of that we don't take very seriously. I think serious astrology, there are so many excellent sites up now where you can really delve into astrology in a very serious way and have an understanding that helps you navigate your way through the excellent astrologers that are on YouTube, for example, so that when you listen to not only your sun sign, but your rising sign, the ascendant as well, it can really give you remarkable insight into how to handle what's coming. So now we need to move on to how and in what area this new moon is going to affect you personally. So let's start with Aries. And remember, this is for the sun in Aries or for the rising sign. Aries for you, because of course you're the first sign of the zodiac, this is in that part of your chart that is to do with innovation and wonderful kind of sort of thinking outside the box projects, also the community at large. I think that this would be a great time for you, Aries, to actually get out there and meet some people, to communicate, to talk to larger groups of people, that maybe you have projects that you would like to launch. Maybe you are interested in developing something that would be of interest to people to listen to, learn from, and work from. So I think if you have projects that you want to launch, this really is a super good time all round for you, Aries. This is a good new moon. So now let's move on to Taurus. So for you, Taurus, sun or rising sign, it's about your career. If you're retired and you don't work, you must have, I would imagine, a hobby or a pastime that you're passionate about. So kind of, for whatever I'm saying, just slot in to the parts that are relevant, anything that is to do about what you're passionate about in life. Because this new moon is giving you a lovely opportunity to open some doors on a new path in your passion, career, your public image. If you have something that you're putting out there in the public arena, this is a real green light to just move ahead with those ideas, and you will really reap the rewards. So now let's move on to Gemini. Gemini, where are you off to? Because on one level, this could be you actually looking at wanting to expand your knowledge. Really, maybe even finding an interest in astrology that hasn't been there before and actually exploring it on a little bit more of an in-depth way. But also, Gemini, this is about you embracing something that you really want to know more about and setting those seeds in place to make sure that you are more informed. It could also quite literally mean that you want to make some travel plans, and because the new moon in this part of your chart can be about travel. So you might be traveling to somewhere that really inspires you and wakes up all those kind of thought juices and brain cells that really need to be kind of stimulated. So an interesting new moon for you, Gemini. So Cancer, for you, this new moon, I would say, is really about new opportunities to somehow sort out anything that has been held back because of perhaps Mercury retrograde delays, to do with joint resources or anything. This would be a great time, and it sounds a bit morbid, but to update your kind of will. You know, it's not something that we like to talk about, the fact that we actually are immortal, and so I've got it wrong. Actually, that we are mortal, not immortal. Obviously, I think I'm immortal. I'm not. So it's a little bit about thinking about what preparations do I need to have in place for those that I care about, so they're not left with a real nightmare if I suddenly leave this mortal coil. And I'm not suggesting that's about to happen, Cancer. So don't see it like that. What I'm seeing it as is an excellent time to review those kind of plans and just think about what you would like to have in place for that part of your life. So I think I'll move on from that. So Leo, for you, this is about your close personal relationships, also business relationships. And you know, with that Venus coming up to conjunct Saturn in your 7th house, this could really see you making some kind of commitment, a long-term commitment. This could be to do with your business, but it could also be a relationship commitment, that you're actually looking at the structure and how you go forward from here and how you make this relationship work. Actually really super nice for you, Leo. So now we come on to Virgo, my little worry pots. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, Virgo, you can be little worry pots. I think I'll have to come up with a catchphrase for every single sign, and then I'll have to remember what I've said for each sign. But for you, Virgo, this new moon is in the part of your chart that's to do with your daily routine. So maybe you need to change your routine. Maybe you need to just give it a bit of a shake and blow off the dust and the cobwebs and just find different ways of doing things. Bring some innovation and some of that inventiveness of Aquarius and Uranus into your life. And that Saturn-Venus, I think, if you've had any tricky health issues, this could see some kind of resolution and a feeling that self-care is something that you are much better at doing from this point in. Now we come on to Libra, my lovely relationship, fairly balanced Librans. They're quite cool, our Librans are, quite cool people. Now Libra, it's in your 5th house, and this is the part of your chart that, amongst other things, is to do with fun, but it's also to do with creativity. I just get this feeling you're really that you might have some new project that you're planning, that you're really getting into and excited about. There's lots of communication going on about it. You're making a commitment to somebody or something that has been in your kind of area just over the last few months. It may be somebody you've met out of the blue. that you want to take this relationship or friendship to a different level, whether that's on a business side or whether it's on a personal side. We will have to wait to see. But all in all, interesting energy for you, Libra. Scorpio. So Scorpio for you. Scorpio, my deep, dark little demons. It's quite a good one. Will I remember all of these? Scorpio. This is in the part of your chart to do with your home and family. And I think it just feels like if you've been in a kind of rather dark place lately, it feels like I'm seeing your home with all the shutters drawn and the blinds down, that you need to just open it all up and let the light in and just change the energy, move things around in your living space, shift the energy that way, be inventive, be creative, and, you know, paint a room, paint a mural, but do something that changes the energy in your home, because that will affect all other parts of your life as well. So now let's move on to Sagittarius. For you, it's about communication. So I just wonder whether, do you teach, Sagittarius? Are you, if you're in the teaching profession of any description, this would be a great opportunity to sort of perhaps change the kind of format of the way that you're actually teaching a particular subject. This is also about communication. And I just wonder whether you're finding different ways and better ways to just communicate in general with the people around you. And this Saturn, Venus, you know, perhaps you found that, it's been difficult to be completely open and free and transparent. And I think this new moon is helping you be more transparent. And it's somehow, because you've got Saturn here and this Venus coming up to conjoin Saturn is kind of helping you put down some more structure into the way that your thoughts need to be communicated. And I think it's about valuing others, as well as you realizing that you do have lots of valuable things to say and impart. Now let's move on to Capricorn. Well, Capricorns really are the old goat. And so I think we can only call them the old goat. So Capricorn, well, what's going on for Capricorn? This is really good for your financial status. It could see the resolution of something you've been trying to initiate. It could see a new beginning with how you want to take your financial situation forward. It might see you looking at new ways or how to manage your financial situation, your budgeting in a better and a more innovative way. And, you know, you are very structured, Capricorn. And your ruling planet, Saturn, of course, is in this part of your chart. It's conjunct Venus. This really is very fortunate for anything that happens to be coming to you at the moment, however small or large, in terms of making sure that money works for you. Now, it might only be, you know, doubling a fiver to a tenner. But you know what? Big trees grow from small acorns. So just be mindful of that. You know, they say, if you look after the pennies, that's me, it takes care of the pounds. And that's really, I think, the sort of the message, if you like, of this new moon. It's actually being very constructive about that financial side. So now let's come on to Aquarius. Aquarius are free thinkers. I think that's what we can call them, are free, big, innovative thinkers. For you, Aquarius, of course, this is about who you are and how you come across to the rest of the planet. And I think that with this energy here, and you've really been through it a bit with Saturn in your sign, it's really taught you to have more firmer boundaries, to be more structured about how you present yourself to the world. Some of you will have lost weight with Saturn here, which is great if that's what you've intended. And with Venus here as well, I do feel this new moon is making you move into the next part of this year feeling much more valued by those around you, but also that you feel self-confident, that you actually really recognizing your value and not beating yourself up or feeling down on yourself. There's a sense with this new moon of achievement. So it's lovely for you. So now we come on to, of course, Pisces, my oceans of emotions, my lovely Pisces fish. Pisces, this is a reflective new moon for you because, of course, it's in your 12th house. And you have been going through enormous kind of internal shifts and challenges with the energy that we've had, especially over the last 2 to 3 years. And of course, Saturn is in this part of your chart where it's really been encouraging you to find internal emotional boundaries, to not let your emotions get you carried away, to ground yourself and find better ways to kind of manage the quivery kind of gills and tummy in your lovely fish-like state. And I really do feel with this new moon that because you are about to feel the presence of Saturn moving into your sign, thank goodness Saturn has been in Aquarius in your 12th house first, because this has helped you find those boundaries that you've really needed on an emotional level. And so this new moon is about you recognizing how far you've come, how far you've grown, and how far you can go in the future. So on that note, thank you so much, all of you, for coming to join me for this in-depth look at not only the energies of the new moon, but how it will affect each of the individual zodiac signs. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.